Okay, and we are live with another BS Busters. And I guess it's time to introduce everyone to introduce themselves, and then we'll just jump right into it. So who wants to go first? Wonder Dean? In duo?
Sure thing. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Alright, it's me, your friendly neighborhood college student. I'm back again after a small hiatus, I suppose. If anyone missed me, you are very nice. But in any case, I'm here to talk again, talk some nonsense about video games and Nintendo, and it's bound to be a fine time.
You shouldn't have said that. We talk bullshit around here. We don't talk sense.
You should change your name then.
we lie and obfuscate in order to get people to hate a company that tries to innovate. We want the same console for everybody. We want the same things. We all need 8 gigabytes of RAM and the same graphics and easy to port to, and it needs x86 architecture. But I digress. Let's let the other person on the panel introduce themselves.
What's going on? It's Liger, one half of Enduo, and it's the fake insider, fake gamer, fake person who don't know what he's talking about. Just come here to drop my fake knowledge and fakeness on the BS Busters.
How do we know you're fake?
Oh, well, I have to give you my company's name and my tax form and show my face and give you everything to prove that I am who I am. So hell, I'm fake if you don't want to listen to what I'm saying. That's what people be saying lately.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But you know how some people are.
Yep. So let's get into let's go in before we get these people, these creatures out onto the bridge.
Okay then. This podcast is primarily about the industry and certain things that gamers have gotten used to. But before we get into that, I guess we should just talk about the elephant in the room, which happened this week, which was obviously that surprise stealth Nintendo Direct about the 3DS. They just kind of threw on us, Hey, what's that over there? What? A Direct? Oh, shit. So anything in the Direct that stood out to anyone? Like, majorly? Like, you were like, damn, I didn't see that coming.
Think the one I saw, I would say it's Pikmin 3. I mean, not Pikmin 3, the Pikmin game for DS.
The 2D handheld Pikmin game.
Pikmin,
that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming, and I looked at it, and hey, I'll laugh if this was the Pikmin 4 and Miyamoto said just to mess with people.
I would laugh, and I would be laughing my ass off. I'd be like, yeah, go for it. Do it.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, that looks pretty good. It's a new. It's sad because Fred, my favorite website, and those people went there and do that same thing again. It's like, good God. People say gamers are not entitled. No, not we, because I don't do that crap. They are. They got to change that all again to cancel a game. I'm like,
well,
do you guys have no lives?
It's never going to get canceled, first of all. Second of all,
we know that.
It's going to come out, and it has a nice, cute aesthetic, and Nintendo's going to make money on it. I mean, I think at this point, the 3DS has sold 45 million.
Nah, over 60.
Oh, shit, 60 million? So basically, I mean...
It's a spicy console.
Yeah, if you add the Wii U into it, the Nintendo at this point has a 73 million hardware, like lifetime hardware to date at this point for both their 8th gen hardwares. Mm-hmm. So basically, I mean, Pikmin's going to make some money for them as an IP. And Pikmin on the 3DS is going to make some money. And all they need to do in order to really sell it is do some more Pikmin shorts, maybe put them on YouTube or some shit, and they're going to make some money. and I'm good for them. Good for them because the
Well, I
3DS
mean,
is cheap to develop for.
but I could see they do. I also could see them they doing like they do this like set up the if there's a let's say a Pikmin 4 console version, and for whatever next system they have it for, I'm not these person saying, but that would be a good setup for the next one to get people from the 3DS who never played it, be like, oh, what's this game all about? I mean, because people need to understand there's other ways to market games than just advertisement.
No, that's
You know
true.
what
I mean
Yeah,
that.
they could show up at the Olympics.
Yeah,
I mean?
and not pay a damn dime for it. But that that.
Yeah,
that
because you're right about that one, because yeah, that was Japan doing it from themselves. They didn't have to do that. That was not Nintendo. Nah, that's Japan did that.
but here's and just as an aside, but you know why they were able to do that? Because Nintendo is a fucking profitable, not in mountains of debt company in Japan that despite the recession Japan's in, despite all the shit that's going on over there, they're fine. And Japan's like, shit, these people got their shit together. Maybe some of their luck will rub off on us and we can get our shit together too. I mean, look, you didn't see Sony up there, did you? Maybe Capcom, maybe Konami.
You're wrong for that, Red.
Yeah, I am wrong, but it's fun. I like sometimes I just like kicking them in the nards, just sometimes. But anyway, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a very interesting. I thought that that was very good marketing.
Yeah, but and also and just to go to the Pikmin things like, see, this is okay. I like the I have not played Pikmin 1. I played Pikmin 2, didn't finish it. Played Pikmin 3, enjoyed it. So I'm gonna get back Pikmin 1 and 2 because I had a collection for the Wii, with the controls and stuff. But the thing that killed me is like, so we have you could call it a spin-off, whatever. But this is the thing that kills me is when these guys they change their old stuff or whatever. It's like, y'all say y'all want people. Oh, these gamers, game developers need to talk this and whatever, but you don't want them to express the thing that makes games fun in the first place. Show a new idea, taking the IP and say, hey, let's try this out. If it don't work, it don't work, but it's something instead of being stagnant, and that's what we've been getting lately: stagnant games.
Stagnant industry.
Basically.
Very the only I think I did a video about this. The only company that's actually trying to move the industry forward right now is Nintendo. And the sad thing is that Microsoft could have been up there with them, but they caved. It didn't help them. The Xbox One is still an embarrassment to that company, but
no, you're right about the cave part, because remember, that's why I had my other video where I talked about that they could have been the most innovative console this generation. They had everything going their way, and because gamers didn't want to try the Connect 2 and the Smart Glass, was like,
yep.
I was like, why? I would have tried. Shoot, I would have picked up an Xbox One just to see the experience and stuff, but they came. I was like, what? And then they, the library is going towards PCs. Like, why?
I'm gonna keep it real. If they had balls enough to make games that utilized the Kinect well, that could have been an awesome experience. But they wouldn't even do that. It became like this shitty little gimmick that they just kind of trotted out to say, hey, we can be casual too, and that was it. There was no real,
No, there was no real. There was no real. I mean, they were going towards that way, but then again, remember, I see this thing about it, as we said before, gamers have this selective memory, because they were like, oh, we don't want to spend extra $100 for Xbox. I'm like, and that's the thing I was trying to tell people, like, when the game, if you don't shoehorn the peripheral from the get-go, then you're not going to take advantage of it. And
Well,
Xbox, they went down because of that. I mean, the glass, I should say, the glass and that went down because of that.
I think that was a part of it. I also think they didn't. I think Microsoft didn't give people a compelling reason to use. They didn't give people a reason to have Kinect. Like, there was no game that really made you say, wow, this makes having a Kinect so much better. It was like, it's Kinect, it's there, you know, it's a Kinect. You know, like, there were no games where you were like, wow, this game could not have existed without the Kinect. I mean, and even something that should have been able to use a Kinect well, it failed miserably.
No. Okay, well,
I was going to say the Star Wars game, because that game was built
sorry.
for a Kinect, and they couldn't even get that right. It was like, come on, man.
I would disagree with you a little bit because because my cousin did have the Connect, and Connect Sports worked out pretty good, but also the Dance Central games, which again, let me say this fake insider worked on, but the Dance Central games they worked out pretty good because you could do it with Just Dance with the nunchuck and whatever, but nah, it's totally different from with the Connect than with the nunchuck and remote for the Wii.
Okay, all right. I'll take it because to me, I found a lot of for me, the Kinect Sports games were kind of like, okay, you're essentially what you've given me is a Kinect Sports felt like a Wii Sports knockoff.
I would say Wii Sports. If I would say mostly like the Nintendo Sports Championship back in the day when you had the mat and you had to run on the pad.
Yeah.
That's what I would say more akin to. Because Wii Sports is you are using motion, but to do like you have to run, you have to really do the running in place and all that.
Okay. All right.
Remember those. No, I was just remembering the days when you had to you were just fast just to kneel down on your knees.
Oh yeah,
and
you
just
cheat.
Yeah.
It was so much better. I know people might get mad. Oh, you cheated. Some of those games on the NES were hard as fuck. So yeah, we want to be there.
You pat it down. Yep. And for anybody who don't understand what we're talking about, you kneel down on yours on your knees. When you had to do the running game, you basically had to use your hands instead of standing on the pads and running. You use your hands to do it. It was like
yeah, we did what we had to do. Don't get mad, shit. People always do that. Oh man, you cheated. Hey man, some of those Nintendo games were fantastically hard. So we did what we had to do. Okay, and if you don't like it, I don't really care.
Yeah, but to get back on the topic itself, you had the 3DS thing was good. I mean, the Pikmin 3D that was I didn't see that. And lo and behold, again talking about advertisement. Look how they set this up too. Like people who like Animal Crossing, you're gonna get a whole big major free update, free, and they're gonna tell you about it in its own little mini direct.
Yep. I mean, I think that it was very well done, and there's nothing I can really say. I mean, it was just, you got Pikmin, Wonder. Anything stood out to you?
There was Pikmin. I was surprised by the Wii U ports or the 3DS ports that we're getting. Like the new Mario Maker 3DS and the new Yoshi's Woolly World 3DS. Mostly Yoshi's Woolly
That
World.
what I'm gonna say. The Woolly World one, I got surprised by that one. The Mario Maker, not really.
Yeah, because thinking about it, that made perfect sense.
Mario Maker made sense. Woolly World, I looked at him like, this is nice to have that game on the go, but really the best version of that game is probably going to be on the Wii U. Because, that game's like a graphical showcase, and I don't care how powerful 3DS is or how well they port it. There's no way you can get that yarn like someone made this shit out of a diorama and made it into a game. Textures.
But it's still a solid gameplay, so it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, And don't forget the way to get them to play the game is that Poochie amiibo.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
amiibos, just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yep. And I'm getting
Yep.
And
You got a
I was
Poochie
also
amiibo?
surprised by more Street Pass stuff. Speaking of gifts that keep on giving.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wasn't expecting more Street Pass stuff this far into the 3DS's life.
I mean, the thing about it is, I talked about this in the Gamers at Large. Like, people, the mainstream say about, oh, Street Pass is dead, whatever. Like, you could say that, but I've experienced it outside of this now, because the story I told at Gamers at Large was when I was flying and I was when I was at Miami International Airport, and I was playing my Wii U in my, God forbid I took my console and played it in the airport, my console, not my handheld. But I played Wii U in the airport, and this lady came by, and she's like, "What's that?" And I was like, and of course I said the same thing too. Nintendo did the bad thing with the name, but she was like, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, this is my console, it's the Wii U." She said, "It's the Wii, no, it's the Wii U, blah blah blah." But her son was like, "Hey, he said, do you have a 3DS?" I said, "Yeah." I said, and we, he was like, "Oh, can I get a Street Pass and stuff like that?" Her son's like about 7 years old, so yeah, it's like. It still happens, and so I'm happy that they updated it. You don't do 10 now; there's 100, and for the kids and the other people. And the thing that came is like I said, on Games Lost, like the kid was there playing with a 3DS. He asked a stranger, "Hey, can I get a Street Pass?" And the mom was already with it in that regard. Even though we're in the airport where it's technically secure everything, but it's just the camaraderie of the little kid talking to me like that, and just like, "Oh, my favorite game is Mario." This, and I'm like. People forget Nintendo is a family-centric company, has been, always been, and when it comes to the gaming part of it. Not let's take the past out of it because they went a certain way, but since gaming, they've been family-centric. That's why they call it first. That's why they call it first console of Famicom.
I don't know why you said that. Nintendo needs to make everything Dude Bro and hardcore, with heads exploding and people blowing up.
Hell, well, why not? They funded one game like that. Well, not one, two, not two, three. You could go, you get your Bayonettas. If you don't want your Bayonettas, you can get your Geist. If you don't, you get your Eternal Darkness. Hell, shoot. Hell, you could go get your Ninja Gaiden, even though it's not funded by you. To the hell, you got the mature games on the console, but people just who am I to say anything? You're right. You're right, Red. I'm sorry. What am I thinking?
What's wrong with you? The thing that stood out to me was, two things. The Poochie amiibo, which I'm not going to get the game, but I'm getting that Poochie amiibo because I like cute things.
Yeah, you did say that.
I don't even like Yoshi games, but, man, the Yoshi's Island games, but, man, I'm totally getting that amiibo. And secondly, believe it or not, I actually was kind of intrigued by Ever Oasis. This is from the Final Fantasy guy and the Secret of Mana guy, so he's got a strong pedigree. See, like, I respond to pedigrees. I don't trust companies. I trust the people that work at them. So, like I know this dude's pedigree. I've been playing his games for years, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll trust you.
Yeah, and I wish that a lot of people will understand that and do that, but they don't. But also, the next thing for me that stand out, and Jay was talking about it because it was funny to see the blow by blow with that one on Google Plus. When I was telling Jay like, "Oh man, you're gonna buy more amiibos," it's like, "No, I'm gonna use Bayonetta and what's the other one? And Cloud." That's about it. I was like, "You're not gonna trust me. You're not gonna do that." And then like a couple minutes later, he's like, "Damn you, Nintendo." Damn you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get those Zelda amiibos for...
exactly. Those Zelda amiibos look... I like the 8-bit one. If I had to take the choose, the one that stand out to me was the Ocarina of Time one. I love that one. That one was really good.
I'm gonna lose so much money when they make a second Kirby series amiibos.
Yeah, I'm getting them because I'm a huge Zelda fan, so I'm just like, I gotta, Zelda is my jam.
Well, hell, you could use these into Breath of the Wild So it's not like it also works very. You're gonna do special stuff in there, but it's like for me, like I got my Mina amiibos still in the box. I got those. So I'm gonna get an Ocarina of Time, and of course the Zelda Breath of the Wild amiibos look awesome as well. So like shit. Every time you say you're gonna put this away, they come back with that crack.
Well, I mean, Nintendo has history, and it's really hard to beat history. You can't. It's really hard to beat history. So I'm going to give them some more money because they got the history on their side. I mean, I can't. Like I said, it's hard to beat history. So with that being said, I mean, have we all said what we liked about?
Well, I mean, also the last thing was I'm happy that they showed out more. They give some love to the indie people, so they could, you want to pick up those games. Also, like I said, for me, my crack has been extended now, and like Mr. T, I made me a promise now that I hope I don't regret. Like he's trying to collect all the Wii U games for Wii U. And so he's like, wow, why did I start this and then? But he's like, okay, but I'm trying to. My thing was, I of course I like that. I like when Nintendo does this, like, okay, we have this thing right here, and you can get it right now. It's like, son of a gun. I like when they do that. So of course I got the third pack for Hyrule Legends and Hyrule Warriors, which I've been playing. That's kind of like my off crack, other than Tokyo Mirage or whatever, because it's so simple to pick up.
That thing actually kind of made me a little bit mad.
Why?
Because that game, Spirit Tracks, there's a character from that would have been perfect for it, but no. He's too cool for this game.
Which character would that be?
Burn.
Linebeck?
Nah, Linebeck's not a fighter. Nah, Burn.
Well,
He's the guy with the mechanical hand that he can throw for grappling.
No, I know what you're talking about. The basically the guy who thought he was bad, but you figure out he's not bad. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I think people just know the main. Like I said, other than Ocarina of Time, because of how big that game became, and Twilight Princess, I don't think any else is. I mean, I'm looking at all the characters on my screen right now. I don't see nothing that was mainline, like you said. But again, Byrne was a bad guy on it, but he was second to still the little imp creature. I forgot his name, the mayor.
Byrne had the redemption arc. He was bad, but then he became not bad. But he was a cool character.
No, I got you, but he was not the standout bad guy. The imp was. I forgot the mayor name. Like he was the standout bad guy.
I know who you're talking. He basically was the Ganondorf analog, but you couldn't have Ganondorf in Spirit Tracks because in that timeline, that was the end. Like Toon Link ended Ganondorf's ass, so they had to find a new analog for that character. He had blue hair instead of red. That was thing.
Byrne wasn't the Ganondorf.
No, that wasn't what I was talking about. He was the primary villain in Spirit Tracks. Yeah.
The little guy who had the two hats, but he had horns. That he was the bad guy. And that's
that wasn't the main bad guy. That guy was serving the main bad guy. The main bad guy.
I know who. But I'm trying to say you see more of him more than Bert at the time when you play the game. Like the reason I'm saying that, you know about Zan because how Zan was in Twilight Princess. I'm talking about like the people who stand out the more. You're right. I'm not arguing that you're right that Byrne had more crazier movesets because we talked about that off air when we were saying that. I could see Impa, the way that her style is, doing that she has a sword and a naginata, that she could use a nunchuck. They could give her a weapon for doing that because they have choose some cool moves. Because I'm like Phantom, the Zeldas. I don't know if that's what they call us. I'm looking at the damn game, but the Phantom Zelda they have, her moves is pretty damn good. I was like moveset, so I could see the stuff like you said with the arm that he has. They could have done some really badass moves in this game.
They're going to make a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, and when they do, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I hope.
Because look at what they got in this game. It's going to be friggin' insane.
Well, it's not
my biggest hope for that is that it runs a little bit better, though.
I mean,
Because there are quite the frame rate drops in that game. And
okay.
Well, I mean, most Warriors games have frame drops, even on quote unquote powerful hardware. Like
the Wii U.
no, I mean
No, on
like
PlayStation
Warriors
4.
games on PS4,
On PC.
on PC. Like unless you have like the best rig, and even then, because there's just so much shit going on in the Warriors game that it just.
Well, it's so much AI. It's so much AI is being controlled. Even though the AI is dumb, it still takes asset to do each AI different for each monster, which is about 100 monsters on a damn screen sometimes.
Yeah, and there's too much stuff going on, so I mean that's just the nature of a war. The only Warriors game I played that didn't have that much slowdown, but it also didn't have a lot of characters on screen was maybe the Dragon Quest Warriors game, but even that still had some slowdown, even on a powerful PC. So.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I said it because I must have put about 75 hours into Hyrule Warrior Legends, and I have not experienced. It has not been that big of a notice or slowdowns on that game. On Legends,
well, I mean, it depends. If it's on, is this handheld or the console?
I'm on the handheld version because they optimized and took out some of the flashier moves and some of the graphic stuff just to make things smoothly. Because like I said, like one of the things like Lana, like on the Wii U, Lana has when she do the summons for her summoning gate. Excuse me, is basically you see the King of Dango or Manhandler or all the you see those creatures doing the moves, but on the 3DS it's just an orange ball for King Dango and a purple ball, a green ball for Manhandler. Like it's just a ball of that's it. They're not showing up, and then she does the moves and stuff like that. That's it. So
they did what they had to do to get it on. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, they're putting Yoshi's Woolly World on the 3DS, but I mean, it's not going to be as graphically impressive as what they have on Wii U.
Well, yeah, or the Mario Maker don't have the online matching and everything from the Wii U. Like, they sacrifice certain things. No, and I understand that. That's the thing that me and you understand that, right? Because that's the dirty word that we use a lot. Optimization.
Shame on you, sir. Shame. That's a dirty word.
I know, but like I said, I've gotten it. I like Zelda. I like the Zelda. I like what they did with the sand rod. And I was with Anderson and Triple M. When we had an off-air chat, I told them that will be the next DLC pack. But that was a guess. That's not an fake insider news. It was like they're gonna go with that before, if anything else, the fourth pack might be Seasons or Skyward Sword, because that's the last two games.
Do they have a fourth pack planned?
I thought it was 4 packs for the season pass.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it is 4. Or maybe it was 5. No, it was 4. It was 4.
No, it was 4 on the Wii U. So I know that I'm thinking of doing the exact same thing for Legends for a 4 pack.
Yeah. And look, listen. At this point, this game has done so well. I am not the biggest fan of it, but I really like Warriors games. But I've played it. I enjoyed getting to the end, but I was like, I can't put the type of time some people put into a Warriors game into this game, but I can understand
I've not played a lot of the Warriors game or Musu games from the past either, but for some reason this game got me hooked. Like I said, that's my point of preference 1 and 2. I'm unlike these people who go to change.org and bitch about stuff. There's millions of people out there that want something specific. No Man's Sky might not be my cup of tea, but there are people out there who play the game as much as it is. So stop with the.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. The 3 Warriors games that I've enjoyed, and even though I said that I didn't enjoy Hyrule Warriors as much as some people, I still enjoy it. Dragon Quest Warriors, the 2 Fist of the North Star Warriors games, and this one. And to an extent, the One Piece Warriors game. I like those titles. I think they're fun. But it's also because they aren't Warriors. I mean, they aren't traditional Warriors games like Samurai Warriors or,
Dynasty Warriors. I think it's because they use more recognizable characters.
No, I just, I hate, okay, you know the history of Dynasty Warriors, don't you?
I do.
Um,
I
I
mean,
know
you know
that
the
they get
history of.
criticized. I know that they get criticized for being samey between each other.
Oh no, I don't mean that. The history of Dynasty Warriors is that originally when Kimco, because Kimco holds that franchise, it was originally back in the day, like during the NES, SNES age, that franchise was a strategy RPG. And
Okay,
then
okay.
when it hit the PS1, PS2 era, they turned it into like a beat 'em up where you go around beating the shit out of people, and it made it widely popular. But like, I actually liked it when it was a strategy RPG, and I don't really like. It's like the same story over and over and over again, except with characters. I don't. It was kind of like, Like, how many times can I see, in Dynasty Wars, how many times do I have to see Liu Bei, Cao Pi, Quan Zhu? And then Samurai Wars is Japanese history, but it's like, it's weird people wearing weird outfits doing weird, outlandish attacks that I don't give a shit about, which, the characters really factored in making me give a shit about that game.
Mm.
Yeah, so, yeah. But yeah, it was back in the day. It was Koei Tecmo. Koei Tecmo used to make strategy RPGs. That was their thing. And then and some platformers. And then they kind of I don't know what happened. They disappeared for a while, but then they came back and they were making this shit. So I'm happy with them. I'm not gonna get mad at them. Anything else you guys want to say about the direct before we move on to the main topic?
The main topic. I said one more thing. I'll add one more thing. It's funny that you said it, I've said it, but we said it back then before it even come out, of course. And this is again, it's not inside knowledge; it's just common sense that comes in. We said that they're gonna be, even though we had the Amiibo, the Animal Crossing one set up, but we said the small 3DS is gonna come to America. You guys just need, if y'all are so impatient, just wait. You could see y'all, since y'all want the name face switching, and look at this. The next one just came out with the Mario 3D Land one, and of course you got also that new looking Galaxy, the one for the XL, which would look really good. But
Yeah, I kicked myself. I was like, man, I could have waited and bought this shit when it came out. I'm almost thinking of trading mine in
Man, I'm thinking about getting that too. My
yeah.
my new 3DS right now is a little beat up after about 2 years.
I'm like, I almost, because how some people will buy a new Xbox One if it's a theme console. I'm that way with handhelds. Like, I have like 3 Game Boys, I have like 3 Game Boy Colors, I have 2 Game Boy Advances, not SPs, original Game Boy Advances. So I'm the same way with like handhelds. I might just do it. I might just say fuck it and just go and get it. Get the Galaxy one because that one was awesome as shit. I like the little skit they had where like Reggie was. I mean, I think we got to see a side of Reggie that we don't normally see. The him channeling that I'm pissed off and someone's about to get fired, Reggie. About to get in that ass, Reggie. Oh shit.
I like how they continue the tradition of having fun with the directs, that's the whole point of it. And
Bill Trinick is my favorite Nintendo character.
And if you look at he does a really good job. But the thing that kills me about it is like, and you go and you look at the Japanese direct, and you looked at the European direct, and you see how the Nintendo America does their direct. One, you see how things go off, and two, it also shows, God bless his soul, Iwata, like, people keep on, I remember people that when the directs was like not calling on because of what he passed away, and they're like, oh, well, this would change the directs because Iwata came over and did directs mostly for the American side.
Yeah, they have a completely different dude in Japan.
And in Europe.
Yeah. In Europe, it's Shibata. In Japan, it's like some other guy. Like, I've seen him before, but I just can't. He's like one of those dudes. Like, I know you work for Nintendo, and I've seen you in other places, but I just can't place you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like I said, that shows that Iwata came and showed his support mostly for the people who. The sad part about it, as we know, for the people he came and as a CEO and came and showed more directs on the American side, other than in his own home country, try to show respect and give you all the jokes and and show how much we like America. And then of course we see what happened before he passed away. We were like, fire him, he don't know what he's doing, he's not a good CEO. I'm like, yeah, you know what, that kind of stuff is the stuff that we think, you know what, F you people, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, like people give Sony and Microsoft the benefit of the doubt, and they've been fucking up big time, multiple gens. But then, Nintendo, fuck them. Don't trust anything.
Because I'm laughing. Sorry, Red. I have to put this little dig in because it's funny to me. Is I saw somebody a certain person we all know, whatever, posted on his and did a video about this. Oh, Metroid Federation Force only sold basically close to 5,000 copies the first week he got released in Japan. Okay, they don't. Metroid is not a big franchise in Japan, really. Technically speaking, one, but two. And this person, the Xbox person, I'm like, wait, well, how much did your console sold that week? Your console to a game, really? Okay. I don't even think he sold 300.
The Xbox One? You mean the flop box in Japan? Because that's what it is.
I mean, if you want to compare Japan to Japan, and I saw that, I was like, that was kind of, you doing a video and you trolling and trying to be like, oh, this is how shitty the game is, and people don't want. I'm like, yeah, okay, then, but you don't talk about this. I like how people pick and choose sales. That's my thing. Like, you choose that, but
I guarantee that game will sell. I'm guaranteed that game will sell at least 1 million by next year. Federation Force. I think it's better than what people think. Like, okay, the game is really meant to be played multiplayer because that's where it's really. But it does have a single player campaign. The single player campaign can be kind of a pain in trying to get through certain areas, but if you're smart enough, you can still get through it by yourself.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm a single player person. I'm getting through, and it's like its own technical difficulty to me, and I have no problem with it so far.
But I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I'm like, look, you're playing it like people are like, well, it's not like a traditional Metroid game. It isn't because you're not playing as Samus. You're you're not Samus. You don't. It's kind of like ODST. People are like, ODST. It's not like the other Halo games. Of course, you're not Master Chief. You're one of the normal grunt soldiers. I mean, you're not. Like, you don't have a super suit on, and you can't do all this amazing shit. You're just a dude. Doing the best you can.
And that's the thing that kills me is like, that's just, okay, you said people say it's spin-off, whatever, I'm not gonna get hung up on the word, but again, that's somebody who had an idea and they tried something different than try to keep it into one franchise all the time. That's why it's so funny when I hear a lot of these guys like, oh, Mario games are the same. I'm like, no, they're not, except for the new Super Mario Bros. They kept to a certain line, but every major Mario game from 1, 2, 3, Super Mario, all of them has like mechanics and physics and everything changes.
Yep, the mainline Mario games are always very different, and if anyone tells you any differently, they don't know the Mario franchise. That's just the way it is. They just don't know the franchise.
All it is they're like, oh, well, it's Mario, and it's just Mario, and he's just jumping around, and that's all he does. Well, it's the same character that does that, but he got triple flips, jump flip, back flips. Wait a minute, let's talk about, because that's one of the things I've been pointing out. Like, every game's repetition except for is the way you execute. Because most of these guys who say that, like, I've seen these guys, I'm like, well, so is your Call of Duty. You just go to a room, shoot, move on, go to a room, shoot, scripted LDT and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's bad because I'm not liking it, because I like Black Ops 2, but it's just, I mean, what you could say for one game is the same thing as the comparison with the Japan with the sales. If you compare contrast, it's basically the same thing, dude. So stop throwing stone rock when you live in a glass house.
Why are you making sense? We're not allowed to do that around here.
You're
so
right. Yeah, that's about it for that. I just wanted to put that in there. Sorry.
Talking sense. The
thing that was kind of confusing me about Metroid Prime Federation Force, and in the way people sort of reacted to it, and the way people were responding to it, is that some people are getting mad about the whole marketing of the game, where people are like, oh, Nintendo shouldn't have said that this was like a new mainline Metroid game after like 7 years of no Metroid games. The problem is that Nintendo never said that this was a Metroid experience.
No, Tanabe said that it was going to continue the storyline of Metroid Prime, which it does if you made it get to the end.
But I've never seen that. They said that it sort of does continue the story, but I've never seen them say or sort of present this as a true next Metroid experience. They've always presented it as this multiplayer online fun shooter thing. Even when it was first soft revealed as that last ball game.
But it also expands the universe, which is what Tanabe said he wanted to do. He said, I wanted to tell another story set in this universe. But
you know what's funny too? Like how Red and me talk about it, and maybe you same way we're gonna be like, we could call these developers names, but these people who say they're fans can't call their names, and it you know, which is weird. And the thing about it is, which is sad, every game that almost got announced this year for Nintendo, Wii or 3DS, got some change.org to stop the daggone game. Star Fox. Pikmin that just came out, Mario Splash, Metroid. I'm like, you guys, that's something's going on with the industry when you guys, that don't make no sense. That's the scary part, when y'all don't want somebody to create an IP or use an IP for something different just to have fun with and see. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. That's all you got to do. But to go in and try to shut them down from making a game because you're so... That's weird.
Well, the hilarious thing is that Nintendo gets this all the time now. And change.org was supposed to be used for important shit like, you know, like some cop shoots an unarmed black kid that's like 10 years old who doesn't even have a toy gun. And
or for companies or for
and he gets
rights.
Yeah, and you want to bring attention to it, so you do a change.org petition, and like 3 million people say, hey, this dude got off for something that's fucked up. Let's talk about it. That, you know, that's what change.org is for. We don't want this game. So the fuck what? Don't buy it and shut the fuck up and let people who do buy it enjoy the fucking game. I mean, this isn't the end of the world type shit. This is not like, you know, okay. If Nintendo was saying, okay, we're gonna release, a game that's only 70% done, and then charge you $60 to beta test it for us, and then we're going to sell you bits and pieces of the game that were in it as DLC, then I might say, yeah, do a change.org petition. But this shit is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
And that's a good transition into your main topic. Go right ahead.
Yep. Yeah, nice segue there. So the main topic is, like I said earlier, people who release games for $60 full price and then want to charge the public money to basically beta test it for them to make it complete, and then charge you money on top of that to give you more content that should have been in the game in the first place. Your thoughts, gentlemen? On how you feel about that. Wonder Dean, you want to go?
I don't have much experience, I'll admit, because most of that stuff seems to be on PC and the other two consoles, and I don't really play on those right now.
You're getting all snobby now, huh?
No.
Think you're better than us, huh?
No, I think I'm worse because of that.
You don't play those types of games.
No. Aren't these gonna mostly be about Bethesda games?
Well, if it was only Bethesda games, I'd be like, that's only one. But this has become a recurrent theme in multiple AAA releases. Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can only really go off hearsay, like, with the controversy surrounding Street Fighter V and stuff like that. So I can only go off of secondhand information and no real experience. So.
Okay. If you're going to that level, then there's nothing I can say except that's how you feel.
I'm saying I can't say much.
Okay, all right. Gonna egg me like that? Oh, no, I'm joking. Liger, you want to take a stab at it?
Oh, we talked about it, the Battlefield thing with, like I said, a coworker of mine where we were at the studio. It was like, hey, have you played the game? I said, yeah, I've not played the beta. I did not play the beta. It's just that one of the, he's saying he enjoying the game, is pretty good. The thing to me is like, we get more and more betas, and I talked about this issue already. It's like, and nothing's wrong with that, hopefully, but I don't think the developers get the best feedback from people, including how we just talked about how gamers are now. They're not getting the feedback they're supposed to get to make the game better, and that's why some of these games come out still broken and messed up. Because these guys are entitled, and it's not the best experience that these guys are gaming call. These guys were like, well, I want a big gun, I want this and I want that. I'm like, did the gun work? Is working better? Did you see it clipping anywhere? Oh, well, we clipped through this floor right here. How about fix that? No, you just gain entitled stuff instead of like the real criticism.
Yeah. Here's something, before I go any further, here's something I will disclose. It's nothing really illicit or anything. When I was in college, one of the ways I earned pocket money was the school I went to, University of Hartford in Connecticut, was right down the street from a technical institute for that area, that region, and they had a games program, a game development program. So I would basically, we'd go down there and test their games. So I know a little something about testing games, and I can tell you right now, it is boring as fuck. People think that it's fun, and you go and you play the game and all that stuff. Oh God, I wish it was like that. You basically have to find bugs. So like you'll jump into a pit of lava like 100 times at different points, and then write down if there was a bug or a glitch or some shit. And then once you find a bug, you have to go to that specific spot, note where the bug happened that one time, and then see if you can replicate it multiple times. It's mind numbing. But we got $50 a pop, so I can't get too mad, but it was boring as fuck.
True.
But I digress. The reason I said that is because here's the thing. If developers are, in my opinion, if developers are going to give people broken, buggy, glitchy games, then you should get a discount on that game when it comes to market. Like if you took part in the beta, and you should get 10% or 15% off of that game because you helped bring the game to market. You helped complete it. You shouldn't have to pay full price for it. Developers should not expect to get full price for a game that the consumers had to fucking fix. I mean, I'll tell you this much. If you went out to a fine dining establishment and they brought your steak out to you and it was underdone, and the chef was like, well, bring your ass out to the kitchen and cook it your own damn self, I'm not paying full price for that meal. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, gamers need to demand better treatment, is what I'm saying.
Nah, you're right. It's something we need to, some nowadays people they're not doing quality testing, so we getting this kind of game. That's the same thing I was telling the guy. I was like, I hope that this game doesn't come out like Battlefield 4 or Hardline, like got all these glitches, or the Division where they make the damn game make its own bugs. So I hope I hope it doesn't come out like that, because I want people. See, I like more. Again, it's funny, like people when I get all these people say stupid stuff like, I want any game to be profitable, because I mean, the profitable is good, even if it's something I don't like. I mean, there's gonna be more games. That's the whole point of gamers. We should, you want the product you want the industry to thrive. So you could have, so maybe that person who created that game that I might not be interested in might do a spin-off or something else that I might like later on. And that's what you're supposed to be do. That's what we're supposed to do as gamers, but that doesn't happen. But it's getting crazy now that they're trying to cut. The gaming has gotten so expensive to make these games that they're cutting costs by doing betas and games and stuff, and not have true quality testing. And I think that's kind of messed up. And of course, as Red just point out, like that's what that guy for Ubisoft came and say, yeah, now that games don't have the problem, we come up with a game that's 80% and we fix it in the back end. I'm like, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a major problem with it too. Yeah. Look, so let me get this straight. You want me to basically, like, what the hell do I need you for? If you're going to give me, what the hell do I need you for? If you're going to give me a broken ass, if I have to complete the game for you, I mean, hell. But don't say that. People might get mad.
No, you're right. No, but I mean, again, we don't speak for the majority of people who not do this stuff, and and then think about it. We get criticized because we bought games that's fully functioned and fully featured, but we're the ones who is wrong with this industry.
That's a dirty word. Complete is, we need to add that to the 7 dirty words. Now it's 8. Complete. A game that's complete day one. And I'm tired of saying DLC. I'm guilty of it. They should be called expansions. It's the full game. Here's some extra shit to go on top of your full game. Okay? That's an expansion. Okay? That's what we used to have back in the day. Like, you would get a 60, 70, 100-hour game, and then, we were nerds back then. You'd spend a huge amount of time finishing that game, but you're like, I want another bite at the apple. So they'd say, okay, here's a 20-hour, 30-hour expansion for $15, $20. You'd be like, okay, I want to go back to that world.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, here's a 40-hour game that should have been 70 hours, and here's 5 hours of the 30-hour content that we cut out for $20. It's called DLC. I shouldn't say that. Gosh. So Wonder Bean has very little experience with this, and Duo has nothing to say about it. So, has said what he's going to say. I guess I'll give my 2 cents, and then we'll move on to the final topic, which will be quick and sweet and to the point. So I guess my final 2 cents is, I just wish this trend would end. I want better games. I want games. I mean, even if they aren't better in terms of like my subjective feeling how they're better, they should at least be fucking complete. It's like, I might not like a Volkswagen Bug, but I don't want the tires to come off while it's driving down the street. So, at least be functional. With that being said, I guess we can move on to the final topic. And this is a fun one. This is the fun final topic. Should be quick, easy, to the point. And it is, what 5th gen game that's disappeared that you wish would come back?
Okay, you got to define by disappear. Just
When I say disappeared, I mean like it could be the last time you played it was during the 5th gen. It could be there hasn't been an entry since the 5th gen, or if there was an entry, the last entry that mattered was 5th gen. Like you could say Bomberman. Well, the last entry that mattered was maybe Bomberman on the Saturn, which was a 5th gen system. So you could use that as an example if you want to.
Okay. I'll let you go one, Dean. Go ahead.
Well, I was just about to ask. So, fifth gen is like the PlayStation 1, the Nintendo 64, and the
And
Sega Saturn.
Saturn. Yeah, those are all fit.
Okay.
And you could add maybe the links to that if you really wanted to, but I
I
mean, no
never
one gives
used
a
the
shit about the links still.
Yeah.
Not the links, the 3D. Well, you could add the 3DO and the Jaguar if you really wanted to, but no one's ever going to consider the Jaguar to be fifth gen. I mean, it technically is because it was in the same time period, but not really.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. You want to go first one, Dean? I mean, I could give you several games because there were games that I would love to play and I have not played them in a while, but as you said, except for my 64. But go ahead.
Well, I was super young during the fifth generation, and I
Mhm.
only started to be aware of my interest in stuff around the sixth generation. But there were still a lot
Okay.
of games I played around that time. I owned a Nintendo 64, but my best friend at the time, my best friend owned a PlayStation 1, so we would kind of swap experiences and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, I can't think of anything in particular that like disappeared totally around that time. Like Crash Bandicoot had some games afterward. I believe there was a Crash Racing game the generation after. There were some Spyro games the generation after.
I got you. Okay.
Then of course, like all that Nintendo stuff. I did like Bomberman Hero, but he still had a presence on like the original DS, and he had some games after that.
All right. I guess I can give several, which for me, which is for me one on the PlayStation, Ballerina Tusciende.
Oh God, that is such an awesome game.
That was a good game on the PlayStation. I love that. I love playing that game. That was fun. I had no problems with it. It was a good fighting system. I mean, it was again early 3D, but it was just the way the characters and the weapons and everything was good. I used to love that playing that game.
What
I feel
what
like
game
Um,
was
Soul
it?
a
Ballerina
little bit.
Toshienden.
Battle Arena Toshienden.
Toshienden.
Toshienden. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was on PlayStation. I love that. I love that game. Um, another game that I wish back. It came back, but not in the sense of what it was. So I want to go back to the original, which is one of the multiplayer games I played in the on the 64 that my friends played a lot of was Snowboard Kids.
Oh, I
Oh, that
remember
is
Snowboard
such.
Kids.
That was Hudson Soft when they were still. Oh man, the sequel is good too, man.
Yep,
Oh, those are
yep,
two
yep,
damn
I
good
haven't played
games.
those games in such a
You
long
know, you
time.
know those games are kind of
yep.
like they're like Diddy Kong Racing but with snowboarding.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I
It
want
was
to say
it was a
Mario
story.
Kart, but they're better than Mario
It was better
Kart.
than Mario Kart, and
Hmm.
he had a story to it because the second one had more of a story than the first
Yep.
one.
Oh
But
man.
yeah,
Oh
but those
jeez.
games, man, me and my friends played those games before Smash Brothers came, before Smash even thought of. We were playing that game for hours on hours because you snowboarded. It has the weapons and stuff. Everybody hated to get hit with the frying pans or
Yep.
the snowman 'cause you couldn't go no place or the parachutes. Oh, you used to everybody like crazy, and of course you could get secret character. You know, God forbid you have such thing called secret characters. And I used to in the first one you had to get the Shinobi, which was the ninja on his fast board was the kunai board, and I remember because I used to because I was one of you know how like okay there are gamers out there who like because it happened to me on the opposite side too. So it's sometimes when you find a character that is so hard to control, but you find out there's somebody out there who could control them. Like when we play Smash Brothers, and one of my friend Ashley, when he could have controlled Ness, every time he could have got that Pika thing around to get back on stage, it was like, how the hell he does it every single time? He got it perfect. to get the peak of thunder, the peak of thunder to go around and catch him up. So for me, everybody couldn't control Shinobi. I could have. So they used to call me Shinobitch because I used to beat him every time because I was the only person who could control his speed because he didn't have turn radius. But for some reason, I learned how to turn early enough to catch, to get around the curves and stuff. So man, I mean, that was a good game.
The only reason I got the sequel was because they had the Nintendo Power. And like I had the Nintendo Power that told you how to get so far in the game and told you how to find some of the secret characters. And I was like, shit, I got the Nintendo Power. I might as well get the game that goes with it. I was marketing for your ass back in the day.
No, you know what, and you're right. And like I said, that's pretty cool. And those two games were really, really. Okay, the story was in the second one. The more of the story, so like you're right, it's more Diddy Kong. Okay, with space, the same thing with space pig. You had a space thing in it that these invaders came and you had boss battles and all that stuff. So yeah, it was that. So Snowboard Kids.
Yep.
Another game that I had and they have not come back from since this. Not that I've seen. So I used to love on Super Nintendo, and I was like, oh, this is because I have 1 and 2 on Super Nintendo, and I have Rally on the 64, Top Gear. I used to love that racing game.
Oh yes. I used to like Top Gear on the 64, and I actually like watching Top Gear. For me, Top Gear was always more interesting to watch than most other racing titles because it was like I don't really give a shit about these people. Oh, we're joined by a. He's gonna be right back. Okay. But yeah, it was. I loved Top Gear Rally. I liked how strategic it was.
Yeah, like I said, because you had the different paths and stuff like that, but you had the different paths, but also you had to, you had to set up your car. I mean, Top Gear Rally got more into because it's a rally game, so you had to set up for the suspension and blah 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 for the time. But I remember back in Top Gear 1 and 2, when you had to buy your nitro. Like Top Gear 1 was just basically racing back in the Super NES. Then 2 introduced you got to set up your car, buy this car, get the nitros, get everything set up the way it was. Oh my goodness! I mean, and I have the game on my Super Nintendo and stuff like that. So I'm saying it's just these are the classics. So, and after Top Gear Rally, I never seen the next Top Gear game really. So it's like
they make games like that on PC. they do, but.
Well, I know. Well, Top Gear Rally itself, I know Sean, the guy with the Subaru. I forget his name. Sean something. I forget his name.
Sean White.
No, not White. Who's the guy who does is a Subaru that's the name on the. He's an Australian, but he does this. He does that's what they do with the rally cars and stuff like that. I know they have that, but I was just saying that you said franchise and Top Gear is a franchise, so that franchise I see used to sell game or freebie, so that's gone. It's gone, and shoot, I mean that's one that's gone too. I mean, go ahead, Red. I don't want to take over. If you have some, go ahead. I was just, I guess I could listen.
No, I was just taking a sip of my tea, my sweet tea that I brewed myself and sun brewed and everything. Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
Classy.
I got bourbon in it, and
I bet you think you're better than us.
Peach slices in this mofo, and it's pretty damn good.
I think you're better than us just because you can make your own tea. Huh?
Well, anyone can sun brew their own tea. All you need is someplace to leave the shit so that the sun can sun brew it. And next time we try to cold burn some tea, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know how this turned into tea brew time, but
I just left these leaves out in this water, and I have tea all of a sudden.
I don't. Never mind. I'll tell you off here. I have 3 franchises from the 5th gen that they aren't entirely dead, but the reiterations just weren't really there. First one, I want another Bomberman Hero type game.
Yeah.
Or Bomberman Hero.
Bomberman 64 too long.
Or Bomberman 64. I want a 3D open world Bomberman. You can have the battle mode that people love with the multi characters, and that with online gameplay, you can have 32 players playing Bomberman at the same time. I really wanted to, but I also want like a single player game where you can blow shit up. Give me actually, I would like to see them take a page from Mega Man Legends book and actually have a story and open world and Bomberman, earning money and using that to buy shit or finding things to make his bombs more powerful and do stuff. I would like to play a game like that. The second one, and I kind of stole this, I want to see another Mega Man Legends game. We'll probably never see another Mega Man Legends game, but I would love to see another one, even though we'll never see it because Capcom is stupid. And number 3, the third one is I want another Gauntlet Legends. And no, that Gauntlet game released by Warner Brothers is not a Gauntlet game. It's a Diablo clone. I want a Gauntlet Legends. I want to have multiple characters, different colors, secret characters. Give me 12 secret characters, 12 mainline characters, all of them with different abilities and little proclivities and stuff, so you can find one that fits your style. Yeah, that's what I want. And I loved playing these games back in the day. I loved playing Gauntlet Legends. I had the one on the GameCube, but it wasn't quite as good as the one on the N64. It was good, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't quite all the way there in my opinion. But both of them had really good music. You're like, wow, this has oddly good music. And maybe as a bonus one, I want another Shadow Man. I know there was Shadow Man Second Coming on the PS2, but that wasn't very good. Because Shadow Man was basically like a M-rated Legend of Zelda, except instead of your main character being an elf with a sword, sorry, a Hylian with a sword, it was a black guy with a gun. And he shot it gangster style. He just shoot people multiple times. It was awesome.
I got you. I can see. Yeah, I see that, of course. Let's see, 64. Like I said, the next one. It's another game. I have the game and I enjoy it, but I like the style of what that game did. And Mr. T had it on his video a long time ago, but in America it's called Flying Dragon.
That's a good game, yeah.
Because it's 2 games in one. Is one that is like a 3D fighting game, and then of course they had as we would call you call it SD version, but most people call it Chubby, the smaller version where you have to be.
It was like an RPG. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember buying that game because they were like, for the N64, they're like, no, really, it's an RPG. And I played it, and I'm like, this ain't no RPG. And then I got to the second part, I was like, oh, shit, no, this is an RPG. Never mind.
Yep, because you had to try to get all the special moves and characters and stuff, and I used to love that stuff, including
that was rude. It was fun. I'm joking. Just catch up to speed. We're talking about 5th gen games we wish we could bring back. He was talking about Flying Dragon. Yeah, but Indoor can finish and then you can go because Wonder Bean has not had much experience with that generation.
Okay, I'll think about something. Go ahead.
Okay, and for me it was like I said, the Flying Dragon was pretty good because the RPG, like I said, it's set up. You got a lot of stuff to do in it, including when it's one of those games again, kind of like Smash. But one thing about like my friends, when these is where I if I had these friends online, but they have lives of their own and they don't keep up with stuff, which is cool, and that's what I'm saying. But when we were in high school and play, the one thing about us that we like is we gravitate to certain players. We never try to be the Ken or Ryu or whatever. Every time we play a game, certain people picked a certain thing. So everybody, for Smash Brothers came out, everybody had a certain character that they stick with. They never really try to be a clone over somebody else. So with Flying Dragons, we did the exact same thing. So it's like one of my friend Tristan was like, yo, I'm Wheeler, cause he back at the time he used to love that's when damn, I forgot Triple H just came in, and Wheeler one of his grab rules was the pedigree. So he was like, "Oh, I gotta join." You had that, and of course I forgot Harana. I think I forgot her name, but she had the Hurricane Harana kind of like, and she had like the six kind of like Rey Mysterio Jr. and stuff like that. 'Cause we used to play at that time. We also used to play the WrestleMania 2000. So
Right.
it was just like we everybody gravitate to a certain person. So it was so that was a really good game. I would love. It is not the game was good, but it's like you said, right? I would like that style of the second part with the RPG setup would be really good as a fighting game. I want that kind of style to come back in any game if they could have it.
Well, here's something that's kind of funny. I was just thinking to myself, a game that had an RPG setup that was oddly better than the fighting game, Energize, God Bless the Ring, on the PS1. It
Oh
was a
yeah.
Square's attempt at a fighting game that was pretty shitty, but the RPG portion, which is what they were good at, was actually pretty good. And it had
Okay.
Cloud in it and Strife, but no one gave a shit about that. The online portion was where you basically played as some generic guy who went into dungeons, beating up enemies, finding money, leveling up. It was actually, I'm like, if they made it a fighting game that had that, I'd totally be down with it. That would be
True.
so awesome. Soul Calibur, Namco Bandai, you listen to this Soul Calibur with actual RPG elements. That'd be freaking awesome, and it could work. It could totally work if they actually gave a shit. And I could say I would love to see another Conker's Bad Fur Day, but
Well, you saw what's going on with that.
I don't want to depress myself, so I won't.
Not even no, that's not depressing. Again, it's just that we see that. That's
We've
all
got
I'm saying.
ukulele. That's close. We've got ukulele with Trouser Snake and a cloud pissing. You know, that's
And
close.
that's more of a Banjo Kazooie game, not really
Yeah,
a
with some of
Conquer
those
game.
dirty jokes are Conker-esque, like Trouser Snake.
Why you do that?
Well, I mean, that
Trousers.
I didn't do it. Rare, look, Rare. Platonic, aka Rare, they're the ones who wrote that shit. I had nothing to do with it. You gotta take this up with Rare. I mean, Platonic.
Got to.
Yes, and I will keep on calling Platonic Rare because of the real Rare. The real Rare Rare. That's what we used to call them back in the day. So, Dr. Feelgood,
Yeah.
have you come up with a fifth gen game that you wish that kind of either disappeared in the fifth gen or it stopped being good after the fifth gen, or like the company that made it disappeared and the IP rights are just lost in the ether that you wish could come back today?
I got a couple that I wish would come back today, and one of these I'm pretty sure people won't even they'll probably wonder why I would even bring up this this B game. But who remembers ESPN Extreme Games on the PS1,
I'm
where you
sorry.
Not
had
me. No.
where it's like it was racing, but you had bicycle, street sludge, rollerblades, and a skateboard, and you can play as either one you wanted. And it was kind of like Road Rash, but on but on those things. You had to fight, kick and punch your way to the finish line. Of course, Street Sludge you could only punch, you couldn't kick, but it was the fastest thing, but couldn't corner worth a damn. You had the bike, very flexible. It was just a really fun and different racing game, I must say.
You
It
know,
basically it's kind of like it's almost like SSX in a sense. Like I say, it's on roadways.
and you know what? You brought up a next game that you brought up. That's pretty. I never heard of that game, but you brought up a game that I also forgot about in the fifth generation. Road
What?
Rash.
Road Rash, yeah. Well, they are making it a Road Rash, and I just read some article recently that they may not do the Wii U version. It's like you guys have been working on a version all this time, and now it may not come out. But yeah,
Man,
I've actually posted a video about it a few times. You look it up. It's called Road Redemption.
no, I've seen what you said, and it's a clone of the game, but clone of the game. I don't get this. But let me put it this way: I don't get the same feel as Road Rash when I looked at the videos that you put up. I see what they're going for, but I don't get the same feels.
It's kind of hard to get that same feeling for a lot of things. It's like Extreme G2. Extreme
Oh,
G2,
yeah.
the 5th gen game. I love that game. The first Extreme G, the third Extreme G, but that Extreme G2 just for me was like it was just good enough. It was like, boom, okay. And for some reason, like I've seen other games like Extreme G, but they just don't have the
Like Wipeout
eh,
and Kinetica. Kinetica was
Oh,
unique, but
wow.
it
That
wasn't
one,
great.
I ain't heard about that game in a long time. Kinetica. Wow.
The concept of Kinetica was great. It just wasn't executed well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Cause when I first heard
yeah.
about the game, I was like, that sounds very unique and fun as hell. When I played the game, it was like, that's okay, but I was expecting something different.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
the best weird ass game that I've ever played, of like back in the day is Rez. Rez, yeah, Rez. That game, I'm pretty sure the people who made that game snorted lines of cocaine and would then do a line of code because that game is,
And another game I want to come
insane.
back, it was kind of like the situation with Rare. I want the original team to be back to do it, but I miss, you know, NFL Blitz, NBA Jam. I mean, those games started out in the fourth
Oh.
gen, but I really miss those games. Like I really like. I remember when I bought NFL Blitz for the N64. I played that game religiously almost every single damn day. Made tons of custom plays. Loved the violence. It was great.
Violence, you say? No, I'm joking.
Did you just say that you love violence?
Well, I mean, if you ever played NFL Blitz, you would understand.
Huh.
Which I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Even when it kind of left them and it was Blitz the League, it was still really good. It was because it was a parody of Madden, and I mean, even though they didn't say it the whole time, it was just making fun of Madden, which
I
made
know
it
you
so
said
much
you.
fun. Because Madden takes itself too damn seriously.
I'm not
Um,
ignoring you. What the?
but yeah,
Yeah. Blitz was pretty. Like I said, it was yeah. But he had games after the 5th January Blitz. So.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But
It sucks
Yeah.
that games like they had to go down the drain. But it's like Red Fox you mentioned, like the first Soul Calibur was called Soul Blade on the
yeah,
PS1.
Mm.
It was Soul Edge in arcades, was called Soul Blade on the PS1. Great game, and and the fifth gen had a lot of gems out there. You especially you count like the Saturn, what Panzer Dragoon
yeah, yeah.
and Knights and things like that. I know there were other Knights games that came out, but the original Knights, I mean, was a great game. Panzer Dragoon, I still have that, and I have the Panzer Dragoon Order on the 360.
They say that
Oh.
Panzer Dragoon Saga, that's the RPG one.
Yes,
Panzer
and
Dragoon.
if you
They
try to
say that's
find
one
that
of the
game,
rarest games and most
it,
expensive Dreamcast games in existence.
I think it's like it actually goes for like $500 right now. I think like it's
Really?
if you find it, like good on you, man. Because I also heard it's one of the best RPGs of all time.
Well, no, it's not.
It's
It's
not.
not
I
one of the
doubt that
best
part.
RPGs of all time.
I never played it, but like
It's
I know
pretty
people like
good.
are really looking for it. They say it was a really good RPG, and I've
Well,
seen more than a few threads that like say it's one of the better RPGs of all time.
no,
Huh?
no, no. Here's the thing: the Dreamcast had so few RPGs that, like if you only have 3 RPGs on a system, then you're pretty much gonna say, yeah, that's the best RPG on the system. But I mean, there's a better RPG on the Dreamcast than Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is Skies of Arcadia. That's a better RPG than um, that game.
Mm. Get to you. Hey, Red.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you for having the podcast. I got a phone call coming in. I gotta take, so I
Cool, cool,
will
cool.
bid you adieu. And like I say, thanks. Like I said, I'm happy I could have made it for this one since I couldn't. I tried to make it to the last one, but I couldn't get my damn car out. So
No,
yeah,
it's
man.
okay,
Sorry
man.
about that,
I'm
man.
glad you could be here. Pimp out what you got to pimp out, and then you could bounce.
Basically, I got nothing really to pimp out. Just stay away from toxic stuff because you have fun with games no matter what console it is. I am gonna try to put up. If I have to pimp out anything, it would be Sprite is listening. I did find the full video that we did about our one-on-one, so I'm gonna try to put that up on the channel, and also a little traveling log about when I traveled to how to get around. What I did when I was traveling this summer. Other than that, yeah, thanks a lot again, man.
Oh
Okay
yeah,
then.
and also be sure you drop that video about that native 4K gaming, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, boy, you're a troll. Boy, you're a troll.
You're trolling. You're trolling.
All
Um,
right. Yeah, which is
yeah,
bad. That's
yeah.
bad, man. All right, man. Catch
But
y'all
hey,
later.
their anger makes you stronger. Peace out.
Peace.
Okay then. So we've reached the end of this podcast. Anyone want to bring up anything before we wrap things up?
I'll bring up something. If anyone is still interested, I am, I can still do the OGL event tonight where we just get together in game. Hangout's not really necessary, but if you do want to do talk on the Hangout as well, we can do that. But the games I'm willing to play are maybe Smash Brothers on the Wii U, Modern Warfare 3 on the 360, Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. If you want this Splatoon, I'm down with that as well. But if you're interested, let me know. If not, it's okay. I can definitely reschedule for maybe perhaps tomorrow. It just depends. But I also look forward to the OGL number 32 this coming Wednesday, I believe. The topics are already listed, and just like last week, they're pretty interesting, and I'm pretty sure you're going to want to be there, Red Fox.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Because we always talk about good shit. You want to pimp out anything, Wonder Dean?
Ain't got nothing. Not yet, anyway.
Okay, I guess it's up to me. It's me, Mr. Red Fox. I'm working on uploading my first of my new series, which I've been working on, and just shit's been weird. It's going to be about what would be my dream Grand Theft Auto game. I'm going to follow it up with what would be my dream Fallout game, and then after that, my dream Elder Scrolls game. So look forward to that. And once I get finished with that, I might talk about what my dream Nintendo games would be. So look forward to that, and peace out.
And no orange juice.